Next up, we're having a look at the Mercedes-based Hymer MLT 580. Now, this is the first 2015 Hymer motorhome you're going to see, but do you notice anything unusual about it? Yes, I thought so. The Mercedes-Benz logo gives away the fact that this vehicle is based on the Mercedes Sprinter, a very interesting departure for Hymer, and one that we're very excited to be able to review today. So let's find out what exactly is going on. The two-strong MLT, M stands for Mercedes, range offers something quite different from Hymer's Fiat Ducato-based motorhomes. For a start, the Sprinter base vehicle is rear-wheel drive, unlike the Fiat and the Peugeot Boxer, which are front-wheel drive, so the driving characteristics are quite different. Now, this test vehicle has the 190 brake horsepower 6-cylinder engine, which is an option that you have to specify, so in that sense that's quite different from many other engines on the market. It's also Euro 6 compliant, so it has the very latest emission standards. So if green touring really matters to you and you want the very latest, cleanest engine, then the MLT range is the place you need to start looking. Like Hymer's Exis T range of low profiles, the MLT is a semi-integrated motorhome, which means that the habitation area is joined to the cab and the chassis. Now, Hymer has done a great job of making this join as seamless as possible by upholstering the B-pillars and using some fabrics going forward above the driver's seats, and also the way that the cabinetwork intrudes into the area. It makes everything blend into one and makes for a very nice, relaxing atmosphere. The MLT 580 offers the popular fixed twin single beds at the back of the vehicle, which is fantastic for those that need to access the washroom in the middle of the night without disturbing their partner. The other layout available favours a transverse mounted bed at the rear. Up front, you can convert the lounge area into a third berth. So, if you're having friends and family coming along with you, which is no problem at all as there are 4 belted travel seats, you can make a third berth up here in the lounge using an optional cushion. So it's very flexible. Unladen, the 580 weighs just over 3,000 kilograms and has a 480 kilogram payload. This means it can be driven with an ordinary car licence by younger family members, assuming in the first place, of course, that you'd actually want to lend anyone else your brand new pride and joy. The ambience in the rear bedroom is very pleasing, with loads of natural light available from the side windows and down from the roof light. These mattresses are very comfortable too. I should know, I slept here last night and I had a very restful night's sleep. A couple of other things of note in the bedroom: you can stand on the floor, and with your head fully extended there's just under 6 feet of headroom, which is very impressive. Also, at the foot of the offside bed is hinged, so you can lift it up, and it reveals a top-loading wardrobe, so you can put all your jackets and coats in there from the top and then just push down to close the space. A very elegant solution. The washroom has a built-in shower which can be separated from the rest of the space by a couple of bifold plastic doors. There are double drain holes, so if you haven't levelled the van properly then the water will still drain away. A couple other things to mention is a space-saving bench loo, a deep plastic sink, 2 mirrors and task lighting, but perhaps the best innovation of all, you can post your loo roll through a little letterbox in a cupboard. It's a very elegant solution, and it just goes to show that there's nothing bog standard about a Hymer washroom. This test van is fitted with a separate oven and grill, which is very UK friendly. Another great feature are the dual fuel hobs, which means that the catering operation doesn't have to shut down just because you're running out of gas. Another great feature is the tall fridge with separate freezer compartment, which has a compartment at the bottom in which you can stand up bottles vertically. Very handy. There are storage options aplenty in this kitchen, from large overhead lockers to drawers under the kitchen unit. These have handy dividers so you can organise your stuff, and because you can pull them towards you, you won't have any trouble finding things, and all the drawers, with that reassuring Hymer quality, are soft closing. The Hymer MLT 580 starts for £54,490 excluding on-the-road charges. You can make it exactly your own van by browsing Hymer's extensive list of options. Options fitted to this van, for example, include automatic transmission, leather steering, metallic finish to the external driver's cab, and lane change assist. One thing to bear in mind is that although this van is 7 metres long, the habitation door is on the UK offside, so you don't want to go discharging your children in traffic if using it in the UK. So who's going to buy one of these? Well, this new MLT range is an all-German affair, and that speaks volumes. It's the coming together of 2 of the biggest names in their respective fields. Hymer is Europe's largest motorhome producer, and Mercedes-Benz needs little introduction as one of the world's leading car and truck manufacturers. So if you're looking for an ultra premium quality product, a low profile with a Mercedes-Benz badge on the front which is truly aspirational, then this is where you need to start looking. Knaus is Germany's best-selling brand of motorhome, and you're going to see a fair few of them in the UK in 2015. We're going to have a look at the upper echelon of its low-profile range, the Sun TI. The unique selling point of the Sun TI range is the double floor for storage and the yacht-like interiors, and also the biggest sunroofs in the business, claim Knaus. I have to say that the ambience in here is extremely enjoyable. There's lots of ambient lighting, lots of natural lighting, the decor, the fit and finish, everything feels very well put together and is spot on in terms of atmosphere. A particularly pleasing element of the design are the clear sightlines from the front to the back of the vehicle. As you can see right from the lounge into the kitchen and beyond back into the bedroom. Everything is very open plan and creates a real feeling of space. Knaus has done this by using removable headrests in the travelling seats. You take them out when you're pitched up on site and you just drop the flap, thus reducing the height of the seat behind you so that the sight line from the lounge to the kitchen has been effectively reduced. It's a clever bit of thinking and it really makes for a nice wide open feel. 5 people can easily get around the lounge table at meal times thanks in no small part to this rather wide side sofa. But another design function I'm particularly pleased with that really brings out my inner James Bond fixation is this clever solution for the television. How good is that? This test van has a UK-friendly oven and grill. It's quite high up, but it's great to have one because not all continental manufacturers offer them. There's also a fridge with a removable freezer compartment, and on the other side of the van you have the fully featured galley. Overhead storage with soft closing door, little storage unit there, a really large sink, 3 gas burners, and underneath that loads of storage, at the highlight of which has to be this cutlery drawer. Just open it up, and to close, just push. Very elegant. The rear bedroom has a wide open aspect. The French bed does have a cutaway, but you can still get in and out of it quite easily. The ambience is good too. There's a window on the side of the van, a roof light at the top, a pair of LED lights for reading, and don't forget, because this is a fixed bed, there's plenty of storage available underneath. There's more space in the washroom than first meets the eye. The cassette loo at the back certainly saves space because it's the bench rather than the swivel variety, and further forwards you have a false wall that allows you to create a shower compartment and keep everything separate. This also has a vanity unit with a half-length mirror built in. There's some pretty decent wardrobe space too. Check this out. There's a hanging rail on the top that will allow you to get loads of coat-hangered garments. Underneath, there's even more space for the rest of your personal effects and your clothing items. Hats, shoes, gloves, coats, maybe even a few pairs of knickers. Some more pleasing design touches in this Knaus van include this clever kitchen storage unit on the edge of the bulkhead here, some leather detailing around the half-length mirror, a sturdy grab handle, and a very nice habitation door that has a couple of recesses and a rather large bin. It also has a half-length window, which is very handy if there's a knock at the door, so you can see exactly who it is. As mentioned, one of the reasons why you'd buy a van in this range is for the double floor and the storage options it offers. There are 3 compartments near the lounge. You just lift away the flap and it allows you to keep your valuables and other things you'd rather keep out of sight while on tour. Now the Sun TI 650MF will cost you around about £63,000 on the road. It is 3,500 kilograms and has a 500 kilogram payload. It can be driven by anyone without any enhancements on their driving license. As we've seen with all the design flourishes and the general layout capabilities, this is a very fine van, and it just goes to prove that Knaus really knows how to make a great motorhome. New Continental motorhomes like these will command a price premium over the domestic manufactured product. When they become second-hand, they are much more affordable though. So what do you do if you have £20,000 to spend to get into the pastime? You could always go for something like a camper van, as new as possible, or how about something older, as John Wickersham has just been finding out.
You've decided to buy a motorhome. You've got $20,000 to spend on a pre-owned model, but there's a decision to make. Do you go for a van conversion, or do you go for a coach-built model, like this Heimer, which is a 2003 model? Because one thing is certain, there's an awful lot in here that you wouldn't find inside a camper van. For starters, just look at all these travel seats. Those are seats complete with safety belts. 4 here, and then the 2 in the cab. That's remarkable, and you wouldn't get 6 inside a camper van. When it comes to sleeping, it's 5 or maybe 6 in total. Well, that would be 4 down here, and up the top here we have a fantastic master bed that's absolutely huge. And as I stretch to reach in here, I'm mindful of the wonderful headroom. And it's not just here, it goes throughout the interior. And that you wouldn't get in a camper van. And then of course you need storage, and there's plenty of storage here. The only thing I would add is that there's space, but you'd have to watch out with 5 people, say, on the weight issues because of the limitations imposed by the base vehicle itself. Now with a party of 5, there are tummies to fill, and we're in the kitchen because typically you're not going to get one like this in a camper van. Oh, I know it's a little bit small on the UK standards for coach builts because this is a Heimer, but the storage is incredible. Look. Vegetables, 2 waste bins, extraordinary. For cooking, there are 3 burners. You often only get 2 in a small camper van. And there's also a very large fridge. And to access the sink, you just slide the chopping board. Not forgetting that this Heimer is 12 years old, what would you find different on a new van? Well, the latest ones would have a removable carpet. It's much easier then to take out for cleaning. And look at this. What a scrambled mess for the heating, water and space. On a modern van, you'd probably have an underfloor system like the whale water heater or maybe the diesel-driven heaters that run off the engine fuel. We've been in the living accommodation, now it's time to get in the cab and talk about the engine. This is a 2003 model, and regrettably the diesel engines of this period had emissions that were unacceptable in certain big cities, like London for instance, where you have to pay a huge amount to take a vehicle like this into the central areas inside the M25. But then again, is that where you're going to spend your holidays? Also looking at camper vans. Camper vans, of course, are easier to park than a vehicle like this. They're not so high, so they don't have difficulties with the barriers over some of the car parks. Then, on the side of the coach built, you've seen the accommodation in the back. The place is for 5, with proper belted seats, and the fact that you can provide sleeping accommodation for that number too. Accepting the price we quoted at the beginning, isn't this a great way to enter the world of motorhome ownership?
Sadly, that's all we've got time for on this summer special edition. Next time, we'll be looking at the not inconsiderable joys of camper vans. In the meantime, you can keep in touch with us via our website or on Facebook. Until next time then, hope to see you on a site soon. Bye-bye.